What's up? What is up? Alright, listen. It's September 16th, so know that. You probably won't see this for 3 months because I've got the BDR, East Coast BDR videos to post. And I don't know, maybe I'll post this before I post those. I'm not sure. But anyway, you can see that I'm riding the Himalayan. So I've got all kinds of updates on that. I just picked it up today after 70 days at the shop. Oh my God, man. You would not believe that place. I'm going to tell you all about it, and it's going to be boring, but you just need to know how terrible this place is. I've already told you about the cooling down the engine for a week and like all this stupid stuff that they did. Anyway, way back on July 13th, don't forget it's September 16th today, I brought the bike to them. They didn't get to it till the 29th. Now, since then, really nothing happened until I got a hold of this guy, Brett, at Royal Enfield, who put a bit of a fire under their asses, but, I mean, honestly, Royal Enfield's really slack too. So, here's what they did in those 70 days. They checked the valves. Okay, no, first, here's what they did. First, they wrote it and said, yeah, there's a problem. We think it's the valves. I know I'm repeating myself, but I had adjusted the valves. They were in spec 400 miles ago, and I have tons of video showing the bike running great for those 400 miles, right up until it died on July 7th. So I didn't think it was the valves. I don't know that the valves were really out of spec. Couldn't tell you. But the bike was running great until it died. So anyway, when I brought it in there first, I said, look, I talked to your parts department. I have a fuel pump standing by. I know that's what it is. Please check it out. But they checked the valves. They adjusted the valves. That took, I don't know, 2-3 weeks to do that. Then they, let's see, what did they do next? Oh, they looked in the gas tank and thought they saw some water in there. So they drained the gas tank and filled it back up. And I looked at my app that I use to track mileage, and I had gotten a full fresh tank of gas the morning of July 7th, the day that it died 4 times. So that seems dubious as well. And Brett, the guy from REH, said it was dubious as well. He didn't really believe that. I mean, our Royal Enfield. Then finally, now this is like 65 days later, or no, this was just a couple of days ago, so probably 68 days later. You know what they did? They changed the fuel pump. Can you imagine? What an idea that was. I mean, just geniuses. And do you know what? That fixed it. So then I also had them double check everything, like the throttle sensor and the idle. I'm like, dudes, it better, because it's always had cold start issues. And so I was like, I don't want it back unless it's absolutely perfect. No cold start issues, no stalling, no dying, no nothing. So they said it was 100% ready to go yesterday. And so anyway, I texted them and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come get it. I want to confirm, number one, that I'm not paying you a goddamn penny, and number two, when I brought it, I had dropped off the evap unit that I had removed, the 2 original relays, and a spark plug, iridium spark plug, because I was like, look, if you're messing with the spark plug, just throw this one in, because I want to, whatever. And the guy emailed back, he's like, no problem, I'm going to have that stuff setting right here at the desk for you. We'll see you in the morning. So then I texted the guy from Royal Enfield, and I'm like, all right, dude, I'm going to go pick it up. This in no way means that I'm not going to enact the lemon law, because I'd already sent Royal Enfield that letter. And I'm like, I just want to make sure that I should go pick it up, that you've checked with them, that it's 100% perfection. And he's like, as far as I know, it's ready to go. So I rented a trailer, went down there this morning, walked in. First the guy said, yeah, that'll be $585. And I was like, fuck you. I mean, I was just so angry walking in there. I have 70 days of pent-up rage. So anyway, he talked to the boss, and that got sorted out. But they're acting like, oh, well, we're going to pay for that for you. I'm like, no, dude, that's not how it is. I was never going to pay that, and you know it. Because we had already talked to that, the manager and I had already talked about that on a text, and I showed him that. I'm like, oh my God, they're so frustrating. So there was that, and then I'm like, where's my bag of shit? And they're totally like, we have no idea where it is. We fired the guy the rep that you'd been dealing with yesterday, partly because of your case. And I'm like, look, I know the Eric, the manager, gets these same texts. I confirmed all this stuff yesterday. Where's my bag of shit? Oh, we don't have it, man. I don't know. We can't find it anywhere. So I stood around for 40 minutes while they searched their idiotic shop for my bag of crap, and they can't find it. So then I had to talk to Eric, the manager, about that, and he's like, well, we'll reimburse you. You're just going to have to show me all the receipts. I'm like, so I just stood here for 40 minutes, and now I have to go bother with gathering you receipts because you lost the fucking shit, you idiot. I didn't say any of that. I'm telling you what I wish I had said. So anyway, I made him put that in writing, and I'll give him the goddamn receipts. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, this place. So terrible. Anyway, the rep at the desk asked me if I wanted him to go get the bike for me, and I'm like, no, I want it to be cold when I start it. So I went out, dug it out of a billion bikes, and it did start right up. It started right up. I let it run for 2 minutes. I took off, and 1 block later it stalled. So I texted him. I'm like, hey, it just stalled right away. But at that point, I'm just like, I'm definitely not leaving it there. I already drove 2 hours to come get it. So I just loaded it up. I rode it around a little bit more, and it seemed fine. The idle's good. It did start right up instead of the 4 tries to start it. Didn't have to use the choke. It's not a real choke. It's some kind of, I don't know what it does, but I didn't need to use that. And put it on the trailer, and I drove home. So again, what they did in those 70 days is checked and adjusted the valves, supposedly, took off the tank and emptied it, and replaced the fuel pump. Now let me tell you, all of that could be done in a day. 2 days max. 3 days. Let me just give it to them. 3 days. So I should have had that bike back at the beginning of August, that first week of August, and I could have taken it on the trip. I mean, these are simple things, man. This is not complicated. I I have no idea what they were doing. I really don't. It's mind-boggling. Oh my God. So yeah, 70 days, got the bike back, and it seems to be running pretty good. But do I trust it? No, I don't. I don't trust anything Royal Enfield anymore. Those days are over. So I'm honestly not sure what I'm going to do about this bike. I made all these demands to Royal Enfield, you know, stuff that I would consider not doing the lemon law, because the lemon law is a slam dunk. I talked to an attorney, and I mean, I met all the requirements like a month ago. So, and picking up the bike doesn't matter. It still can be designated a lemon. And honestly, it is a lemon. I mean, all those problems. So, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I do love this bike, other than the fact that Royal Enfield is just, they're out of their minds. I really believe that it's the 2021 model. From everything I've seen, it seems to be mostly 2021s, and it seems to be mostly the fuel pump and the relays and all, you know, all the things that everybody has problems with. So Royal Enfield needs to get it together, you know. I had always heard that a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, 2018, whatever, that they had gotten it together, quality control had really gone up, and the bikes were solid. And we all watched Itchy Boots ride up one of these bikes, I think it was a 2018, all around the freaking world. I think the only trouble she ever had was a burnt out clutch, and that was, she admitted it was her fault. So how is that possible? And everyone now is having all these crazy problems. I don't know. So there you go. But I have also finally found my dream bike, and that's playing into the situation too. But I'm about to get on a four-lane highway, and it's hard to talk, so I'll come back in a while. And then I'll tell you what this trip's all about too. This ill-conceived, last-minute, stupid trip.
And there goes the devil, creeping in my life's design.
Okay, so I got back from Charlotte picking up the motorcycle at about 2. And I've had the Georgia Traverse. It's like a route, I think it's mostly for Jeepers, four-wheelers and stuff like that. I think that's what it's meant for. But it's sort of been on my list since I heard about it. And my wife went to New York City this weekend. So I had thought about taking Little Ugly and going and checking it out. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that or not, because it's a lot. And I just got back from the East Coast BDR trip. I mean, what, 2 weeks ago? So anyway, but then they said yesterday I could come get the bike, and so I wanted to go ahead and get it. And I got home, and I also wanted to test it out and see how it's running. So I got home at like 2, and I was like, I wonder if I should, it's already 2, but I wonder if I should just go to Alabama. And so I tried to get organized, because all my stuff from the East Coast trip was still like everywhere, a huge mess. And but I was like, screw it, I'm going. It's the weather is like perfect all weekend. My wife's away. It's September, it's gonna get cold soon. So I kind of had to, right? Had to get out there. So my plan is I'm gonna go to Alabama today. I'm not gonna get there till like 9 o'clock is what the GPS says. I'm gonna find a flea bag. I'm gonna go to sleep. And I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do the Georgia Traverse from west to east. And I'm gonna see how it goes. And the Georgia Traverse is like, I don't even know how many miles. I've done zero research. I barely got the tracks on the GPS. So I'm kind of winging it. I have a feeling from what I read on the website, and I'll put the info on the screen or in the description. I think it's called GeorgiaOverland.com or something like that. And some guy put this route together. It's all free. But I think it's 300 or 400 miles. Maybe four. I don't know. I really don't know. And it goes from Alabama all the way across Georgia. May go into Tennessee a little bit. I'm not sure. And so I have a feeling that I'm going to encounter roads that I did on the TAT and on the Smoky Mountain 500. Because I just noticed the motel is somewhere near, the motel I'm thinking about is somewhere near Lafayette. They told me how to pronounce it, now I forget. And that was the second night of the TAT ride. I stayed in Lafayette. That was the place with the hot tub I wasn't allowed to use. I mean, it's that general area. I don't know how far that is from the start of the Georgia Traverse, but when I was looking around, I noticed it, that city. So I think it's possible that maybe I'll be on some roads I've done before. And I think definitely when it gets closer to Tennessee, North Carolina, I'll bet. Well, I know like Charlie's Creek it shares with the Smoky Mountain and the Tallulah River crossing and all that sort of stuff. So it won't be totally new, which is kind of why I wanted to do it from west to east. Is that what I said before? That's the way I'm doing it, west to east. Because I think it's likely that the roads on the west I may not have done before, and as I get closer to home, I'll probably recognize some of these roads. But that's okay. I didn't have any other ideas really. I've been trying to think about what to do next, and I guess it's this. There's still a bunch of roads down in Highland, Sapphire, Gorgeous State Park, down near where the Mustard Ground Road was. I think there's a bunch of that stuff down there I need to check out at some point. But that's what I'm doing. I'm going to Alabama. And then tomorrow I'll get up and start the route. And so that brings me to the next subject, which is my next bike. Like I said, I love the Himalayan. I love it. But after all this trouble, I just don't know. I just don't know. And so I was in the Pilates studio the other day, fixing some stuff. And a client walked in, and she's like, I guess Jen had told her about my bike trip. And she's like, how was it? And I was like, is it great? And she said, yeah, my husband likes to do that sort of thing too. He's got a Moto Guzzi. And I'm like, does he do like dirt roads and stuff, or is it like a street bike? She's like, no, it's like an adventure bike. She's kind of knew a lot about it, although she didn't know what it was called. So I was intrigued, and when I got home, I went into a spiral of Moto Guzzi research, and the bike in question is the Moto Guzzi, or if I say it like my name Angelo Gianni requires me to say it, Moto Guzzi. A Moto Guzzi V85 TT. And the more I looked into this thing, the more I think it might be the absolute perfect bike for me. Okay, now right away, an Italian bike scares the crap out of me. Ducati, Aprilia, is it Aprilia? Is that how you say it? Moto Guzzi. I mean, those are scary brands if you ask me. And I don't know where I'm getting that from. I mean, I just assume that they're impossible to work on, temperamental, break down all the time, hard to get parts for, and are generally just Italian. You know? Like, I trust Japanese bikes, I trust Honda implicitly and blindly, but even BMWs, like, I don't know, I guess I should trust those, but I don't really want one of those. So anyway, this bike, other than the suspension clearance, which is, I want to say it's like 6.5 inches. I mean, the Himalayan isn't great, and it's, I think, 7.8 inches. So that's not good. But I think I love everything else about it. Okay, number one, the looks. Because of course that's my top priority. I mean, it's a bit of a weird looking bike, but it's air cooled, so there's none of that nonsense, which I like. It's a V-twin, which I love. I love me a V-twin. And it's a transverse V-twin, which just means it's facing the opposite way. It's like side to side instead of front to back. So it has that sort of old BMW, you know, where the engine sticks out on either side kind of look. Although it's not as pronounced as the old BMWs. What else about it? It's shaft drive. It's the only adventure bike you can get that's shaft drive. Shaft drive. Can you imagine not having to deal with a chain? Oh my God. Tubeless tires. Tubeless tires. Tubeless tires. Oh my God. It's got like almost double the horsepower of this Himalayan. I think the Himalayan's 46. It's got 80 horsepower, which, I mean, for an adventure bike, that's still not much, but whatever. It's plenty for me. 46 is just about plenty for me. It's an 850cc. What else about it? It's awesome. It's got cruise control. It's got a 6-gallon tank, like a 250, 75. Someone said almost 300-mile range, which is amazing. What else? It's just cool, man. No plastic. I mean, you know, the usual plastic, but no beak, no big beak, no plastic down the sides, really. Like dual round headlights. I'm sure Futurean's just showing you pictures of it right now. It is something I could really, really deal with. And it's 460 pounds. I think the Himalayan is 440. So 20 more pounds, double the horsepower, a much bigger engine. And so anyway, I went on a total spiraling rabbit hole deep dive, watched every video I could find, and people love this bike. Love it. I had never heard of it until 5 days ago. People love it. You know, they say there's something about the V-twin transverse that it's almost like a self-righting, like not really, but it's got that thing going on, and it's a V-twin, so it's got that bit of a, you know, like a low rumble sort of thing. Not really, but a little bit. I mean, it sounds good from what I can tell. And I don't know, dudes. It's twice as much money as this bike, at least, probably more than that. But I'm a little bit obsessed. I'm a lot obsessed. I think I gotta get that bike, man. Someday. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. I'm headed to Alabama, dreaming about an Italian motorcycle. But is it a mistake? I mean, number one, the closest dealership is in Knoxville. That's actually closer than Charlotte to me. But still, it's a bit of a ways. Will I be able to work on it at all? I mean, the valves are right there. You can get to them so easy. What else would I, you know, I don't know. What Farkles am I going to need? I think I need crash bars. It doesn't come with a center stand. I'd need that. What else? Oh, but imagine. No tire spoons, just a plug kit. No chain lube. No adjusting the chain, none of that. Oh man. It does have like a newfangled screen instead of dials. I wish it had old school gauges, speedometer and stuff, but it doesn't. So there's that. I don't know, man. There's not much to hate about it other than the suspension, which I don't know. I don't know if I care. You know? I don't love doing the super gnarly stuff anyway, so what do I care? And when I am on roads like that, I go so slow. So, I don't know, maybe that's not an issue. Oh my god, I need one though. Cruise control, tubeless tires, no chain. Oh man. It's a whole different deal. I'm into it. Somebody talk me out of it. I'm gonna try to talk myself out of it. An Italian motorcycle, that's a mistake, right? That is a mistake. Alright, on to, there's probably not going to be much else to talk about. I'm just slabbing it on these crappy 4-lane secondary roads. Headed to Alabama. Right on, I'm going to put the GoPros away. I'm running out of light anyway. But I've made it to Murphy, North Carolina. Got another 2 hours to go. After that, I'm not going to make it till 9. But that's all right. Then I'll get up and I'll jump on it. So anyway, I'll see you in the morning.
Hey, please like this video if you liked this video. And if you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button and the alert bell. Also, if you're interested, there are links to gear lists and goofy t-shirts in the description. Thanks a ton for watching.